Hello my angels and welcome to TBRPGathon. Now the way this readathon is going to work is that I'm going to be taking you on an adventure with me and you will make choices along the way. Each of these choices will correspond to a prompt and that way you will pick a book for the prompt. As this is the very first video, you will only get one choice every day and so you would only need to pick one book today. However, as the choices go on in the week, if you wish to use the second, third, fourth prompt the same book as you picked for the first prompt, that is absolutely fine. This is all doubling, tripling, quadrupling up, all up to septupling up if you can. But if also you prefer to pick a book per day, per choice, per prompt, you can also do that as well. Each choice is going to drop at midnight GMT every single day and you will get the continuation of the story as well as your choice in that as well. All of the links to these will be at the end of each video as well as in the description, just in case anything goes wrong with the on-screen links. Now, the very first choice in your journey is going to be the most important choice as well as the end, but the very first choice splits your path and I don't want anyone, without saying anything too soon in this video, I don't want anyone to pick a certain choice based on how they feel about me as a creator. And this will make more sense when you get into the rest of this video and you find out the story and I go through it with you. But I really don't want anyone to pick a certain choice because it goes against me or my character and they feel bad. What I really want from you guys for this readathon is to make the choice that you think would be the most fun for you. Whether you want to be chaotic good, neutral good, lawful good, or any of the other kind of alignments, chaotic evil, all of this, please follow what you think is going to be the most fun. You don't have to follow anything and go along with me and do everything that I want to do as a character in this. Just please pick whatever you would like, go with your gut feeling. Also, just before we get started, I do want to point out there is a Google form in the description. However, you are not to fill this in until the end of the week because you cannot physically fill it in until the end of the week. This is just to see some stats on what kind of books people read and what choices they made. I think that would be an interesting graph to see at the end on the percentage of what choices people made. So that is going to be a thing, but do not panic. This is not something you can fill in yet. I'm going to put it in this video as well as all of the ending videos. I'm going to put the link in the description and hopefully you will be able to get it from there, but I will also tweet it out on the TBRPGathon Twitter at the kind of in the Twitter thread that's got all of the information in, as well as I will tweet it out on the very last day of TBRPGathon as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into TBRPGathon. So it's been a really long day at school and you are walking home along your usual route. It's a crisp autumn afternoon and you are trying to get home ASAP because you are about to have the best dinner of your life because it's your birthday and your mum is making the best dinner and your favourite dinner that you're going to get when you get home. The crunch of fallen leaves is accompanying your footsteps as you breathe in the scent of sandalwood and pine. You hear a rustling behind you and you look over your shoulder to see a figure backed up against the sunlight and you can't quite make out who it is until they come into focus and you see that it is me. You remember now that I was meant to be walking home with you because it's your birthday, obviously, and we were gonna watch movies and have brownies, bake cookies, and just have the best night in ever. You see me run up to you and you can see I am bouncing with excitement and I say to you, come on, we gotta get home, let's go, it's your birthday. You're used to this kind of energy from me, so you kind of just keep going and you keep plodding along. This is a really nice section of your walk home. There's a canal on one side and the forest on the other. There's just a really clear way home and the path is usually quite quiet, and you can hear me chattering away at you in the background and you're kind of lost in your own world, kind of feeling like a bit surreal. You've just, you know, turned 13 and you don't really know what life is gonna bring for you. So as we walk along the canal side, the light that's coming in from kind of the twilight golden hours is bouncing off the water and creating this really beautiful rainbow in front of you and around the canal. I continue to chatter alongside you when you kind of turn and realize that the light isn't just coming from one source. You turn to your left towards the forest and you can see that there's some light kind of in between the trees, and then the trees are quite thin, so it's quite easy to see a little gap between them. And I've not noticed, but you kind of start to stop and think, what is going on over there? I carry on for a few more steps before I notice that you've stopped, and I go, hey, what's going on? Oh, what the hell is that? You watch as I immediately start bombing it towards this light in the forest. You know from the past that I just kind of do things without thinking, say things without thinking, so this is usual for me, but you get this kind of feeling that you get kind of drawn towards this light, but also you feel kind of repulsed by it at the same time. You feel like there is a danger there that you can't quite put your finger on. You follow me quickly and you call out my name, but I am absolutely nowhere to be found. You approach the light and you start to realize that it is just a circle that's kind of person-shaped, almost the same height as you as well as me, and that's all it seems to be, just a glowing circle in the air. And you can't see me around anywhere. You start to call out for me and sort of look behind a couple of the trees and say, you know, this isn't funny anymore, like come out. But I'm, again, nowhere to be found. The forest looks exactly the same on the other side of the circle. You kind of do a perimeter and you look through the other side and it's just the same stretch of forest. Nothing seems to be through it, nothing seems to be around it. It just is here, almost just a ring, and there's nothing in between it. You can see slight flecks of gold kind of bouncing and sparking off the edge of the perimeter of the circle. And you feel some sort of tug in your lower gut as well as your heart. And you can't quite tell what this tug is. You don't know if it's homesickness, if it's nostalgia, if it's fear. You don't know, but you feel like there's something going on here that maybe is bigger than you, and you need to investigate and you need to find where I am. You decide to just put a hand out towards it. Nothing so bold as going straight in, but slowly reach out towards the circle and you just touch a little finger against the edge, and immediately you are sucked into the vortex. For about 30 seconds, you are weightless. There is purple and silver stars, planets, cosmoses, black holes. Everything is swirling around you. You feel like you are learning everything about the universe all in an instant, and then it's going to be taken away as soon as you leave this place. The tug in your heart and your gut grows, and that strong feeling of nostalgia is just sitting there on your chest, like some bear has come along and sat on your chest and you can't do anything about it. You can't breathe. It feels like coming home to a warm dinner. It feels like a sunny day at the beach and you're in the ocean pretending with all your might that you are a mermaid. It feels like the imaginary friend that you grew out of when you turned 10. It feels like heaven and hell all at once, and you know you will never ever experience this feeling ever again, and then slam! You land on your knees in a dark corridor. There's tightly packed sand beneath you. You don't know where you are. You feel like the remnants of that feeling that you got in that void are leaving you so quickly, and they're like wisps in the air. You can almost see them physically leaving your brain and leaving your body, and you can almost feel the memory of it leaving you as well until you forget everything that you saw. The walls feel tight and constricted. The darkness is scary. You feel like there is something out there. And then you look down and you see me. I'm just sat on the ground, chilling. Torches instantly light up the tunnel that is the section that you were in, but right ahead, right at the end of the tunnel, you can see some more darkness, but it doesn't seem like the same darkness that you've seen around yourself just now. It seems very unnatural and maybe even alive. I look up at you and say, "Took you long enough," but before you can reply, a man comes hurrying out of that unnatural darkness towards us. So the man's hurrying towards us and he says, well, where have you been? We have been waiting. And he starts to pull me up, he starts to brush down kind of our uniforms, making sure our shirts aren't crinkled, and in general seems to be in a bit of a hurry. And then he asks us, right, well, it's about to start, so are you solo act or are you a duet? So this is your very first choice for TBRPGathon. Are you a solo act or are we a duet?